to 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Sherry Queen Slabama, and here are the news making the rounds for today. EFCC goes after KALU again and others. Pro and anti-PM Ethiopians campaign ahead of key elections next week. Kim JONG-UN prepares for dialogue and confrontation with the United States. New electricity law underway, says the Senate. Emotional as Ramos says goodbye to Real Madrid. Just stay with us. After this short break, I'll bring you the news in full. Don't go nowhere. You're welcome back, and now the news in detail. EFCC goes after KALU again and others. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdul Rashid Bawa, says the commission's intelligence unit had uncovered a fraud of 6 billion naira looted from an unnamed state government's coffer. Bawa disclosed at the presidential villa in Abuja. He said since he came on board, they have embarked on the restructuring of the agency. One of the key things he succeeded in doing is the creation of the Department of Intelligence. Since the creation of the department, they have received meaningful intelligence. And just last week, they sent a report of a certain governor that has taken money out of the treasury of the state in cash over a period of time amounting to over 6 billion naira. He also disclosed that the intelligence unit was assisting the agency by forwarding fundings to other departments, including the operations department. Just a couple of weeks ago, they recovered $100 million for the Nigerian Port Authority, but the money was paid into the account of NPA through the EFCC's effort. The EFCC boss also states that the agency would begin fresh prosecution of former Abia State Governor Senator KALU. While speaking on KALU and other pending cases, he said they have prosecuted several people within this period, secured 185 convictions, and for 2 months the court has been on strike. They have filed 367 cases, and within this week, they are going to file 800 cases in court. And now moving forward, Benue workers get 2 work-free days for farming. Benue state government has declared Thursdays and Fridays work-free days for workers in the state to be able to engage in farming activities. This is the 3rd time the state government would be declaring work-free days for its workers during planting and harvest seasons. But this is the first time the work-free days will be 2 days a week, and it will last till the end of July. The memo signed by Samuel Ude on behalf of the head of service, Ms. Veronica Onyeke, was titled Declaration of Work-Free Days for Public Servants in the State to Enhance Farming to Develop Agricultural Value Chain in Benue State. It indicates that the Governor Samuel Autumn had approved Thursdays and Fridays work-free days. Accordingly, effective from Thursday 17th June to 30th July 2021, Thursdays and Fridays have been declared as work-free days. Civil servants are thereby advised to take advantage of these days to engage in farming and other agricultural-related activities. The memo, however, states that workers on essential services were exempted from the work-free days. And now in another development, ICPC authors inaugurate task team for Portugal ONNE ports. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offence Commission, the Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigerian Ports Authority, and other port agencies have inaugurated a port standing task team in the eastern ports of Port Harcourt and ONNE. The ICPC, in a statement, disclosed that the team was made up of officers of the ICPC, the NSC, the MPA, and the Directorate of State Services, and was charged with ensuring that standard procedures were followed in carrying out transactions at the ports. The statement said it was part of an ongoing collaboration to ensure the full implementation of the Nigerian Ports Process Manual. ICPC Head of Investigation Prince Hassan Mohammed, representing the chairman, charged the team to be diligent in carrying out their duties, stating that the team's activities were geared towards reducing corruption in Nigeria. Zonal Director, South-South Nigerian Shippers Council, Mr. Ogo Israel, explained that the basic aim of setting up the task team was to ensure efficiency and make Nigerian ports some of the best places to do business. He assured that soon insecurity at the ports would become a thing of the past. Acting Managing Director of NPA, Mr. Muhammad Koko, said the NPPM was fully funded by the NPA as part of its contribution towards creating a transparent and efficient port system that aligned with the concept of the presidential order on the ease of doing business in the Nigerian port sector. Terminal operators and cargo owners promised to support the team with information and reports of any observed infractions. And now news coming from around Africa. Pro and anti-PM Ethiopians campaign ahead of key elections next week. Supporters of Ethiopian opposition party Zema hold a last event in Addis Ababa as campaigning ends ahead of general elections. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed appeared before thousands of supporters at a last campaign event ahead of general elections on 21st of June. In the southern city of Jimma, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed outlined his vision of a peaceful, united and prosperous Ethiopia at a final campaign rally ahead of key elections next week. The upbeat speech in the southern town of Jimma comes at a time of widespread ethnic unrest and economic difficulties, as well as a conflict in the northern Tigray region where the UN warns 350,000 people face famine. Staging the polls in a vast country of 11 million is a logistical challenge at the best of times, worsened by unrest, conflict and COVID-19. The coronavirus pandemic triggered the initial 10-month postponement of the original August 2020 vote. And now news still coming from around Africa. Ivory Coast's ex-president Laurent Gbagbo returns 10 years after arrest. Former President Laurent Gbagbo returned home to Ivory Coast a decade after his refusal to concede defeat in a presidential election sparked months of violence that left more than 3,000 people dead. Gbagbo was extradited to the International Criminal Court at The Hague in 2011 and spent 8 years awaiting trial in war crime charges. A judge acquitted him in 2019, saying prosecutors had failed to prove their case. The verdict was appealed but upheld in late March, clearing the way for Gbagbo to leave Belgium, where he had spent the past 2 years. After making his way down the steps to the runway, Gbagbo was escorted to a VIP hall at the airport, where he was greeted by political allies and his wife Simone. She did not attend his trial at The Hague because the ICC also had issued a warrant for her arrest on charges related to post-election violence. While the government led by his then-rival President Alassane Ouattara has allowed Gbagbo's return to INT'L, there were already concerns about what role the divisible former leader may play in the national politics. Gbagbo's opponents maintain he should be jailed in Ivory Coast, not given a statesman's welcome. Some demonstrated outside Gbagbo's residence in Crocodile neighborhood of Abidjan on Thursday, though it was mostly a day of jubilation for Gbagbo's supporters, who long have maintained his prosecution was unfair and politically motivated. The ex-president garnered nearly 46% of the vote in 2010 and maintains a strong base of supporters. Right now, we'll take a short break. When we get back from that break, I'll bring you updates from North Korea. Don't go nowhere.
In the shadow of the Almighty, there is safety.
God is set to do something great in the life of somebody. Like you believe that Yes! Yeah.
Behold the sovereign creator touching lives.
This woman said she's from Jonathan here. Yes. She said 5 years ago she had an injury, and since then she's been limping. I could not walk straight. He said when your ministry, the power of God came upon her, the pain disappeared and she's walking properly. Oh, she's walking properly. Look at that.
Impact 2021 Iyereku South Ibe with Dr. Lizzie Johnson Suleiman, 18th June 2021, time 3 p.m. GMT +1 at Iyereku Primary School Field, South Ibe, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, call +234 806 464 6180. Get ready for a torch.
Welcome back. And now news from North Korea. Kim Jong-un prepares for dialogue and confrontation with the United States. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said his country needs to prepare for both dialogue and confrontation with the United States, and especially to get fully prepared for confrontation. This marks the first time Mr. Kim has directly commented on President Biden's administration. North Korea had earlier snapped efforts by the new U.S. government to establish diplomatic communication. Mr. Kim was speaking at a meeting of senior leaders in Pyongyang. The ruling Workers' Party Central Committee meeting started this week in the capital of Pyongyang. Mr. Kim says they needed especially to get fully prepared for confrontation in order to protect their dignity of the state, and also to protect its interest for independent development, as well as to guarantee a peaceful environment and North Korea's security. Also, he says North Korea would sharply and promptly react to any developments and concentrate efforts on taking stable control of the situation on the North Korean peninsula. And now more updates from the United States. On Ugly Dolls, animated musical reinforces biblical truths, encourages kids to be kind. Our correspondent has the rest of the news. Do stay with us.
In an image-obsessed society where being different is uncool, Ugly Dolls provides the much-needed reminder that beauty is only skin deep and who you truly are is what matters most. Kelly Adams Osbury says the main challenge was to make something fun, something audiences would like to see through when asked about the use of ugly in the title, and encourage audiences to let go of that word and what it means. Osbury says he really appreciates the challenge and hopes that through this film they undid some stereotypes. The film Ugly Doll is family friendly, upbeat and entertaining, and a good choice for parents who want to reinforce to their children the biblical truth that character is more important than appearance, and kindness to yourself and to others. Osbury told the Gospel Herald that the film is ultimately about inclusion and embracing those who are different from you regardless of their appearance. He says a message of inclusion, tolerance and embracing diversity cannot be a bad message for anyone of any age, and he hopes the film makes the difference in the lives of those who watches it, making them to simply be kind to everyone.
And that was the news stories from our correspondent Belis Quetta. And now on business news, new electricity law underway, says the Senate. The Senate says there was no law governing the operations of the power sector in Nigeria currently, but noted that a comprehensive electricity act is being worked on and would be out towards the end of this year or in the first quarter of 2022. Chairman, Senate Committee on Power Sector Gabriel Suswam says this on the sidelines of a stakeholders roundtable by legislators and judiciary on the enforcement of technical standards and regulations in the power sector. The roundtable was organized by the Nigerian Electricity Management Service Agency to enlighten the lawmakers and judiciary on the roles and responsibilities of the NEMSA in Nigeria's power sector. Suswam says in 2004, when the then government wanted to decouple the sector, they needed an enabling law to allow them to do that. And so what was put in place, the Electricity Power Sector Reform Act, was just for the purpose of that decoupling. And after that, one would have expected that a proper Electricity Act would have been put in place, but new entities emerged completely from the old ones. And so there's no law, as it were now, that actually governs the electricity sector of the country. In addition, they are trying to put up an act that comprehensively covers all sectors of the power industry. New issues have arisen from those entities that have been taking over the private companies. Those issues needed to be addressed in the Electricity Act, just as it is done in other climes. Suswam stated that the Senate was also going through the electricity acts of Egypt and Morocco, where they had well-developed laws for the power sectors. The senator further pointed out that the CEO of the NEMSA has raised concerns that there had been conflict between the mandates of the NEMSA and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and that these issues needed to be clearly spelled out. And still on business news, federal government linking 10 million farmers' information to farmland, says Minister. The federal government says it has commenced the process of linking the biodata of 10 million farmers to their various farmlands across the country. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Sabo Nanono says his ministry has established an online portal to capture the biodata of farmers and link them with geographical information of the farm plots, crops and the volumes of production in Nigeria. Nanono, who spoke in Abuja, said the initiative would ensure efficient and effective monitoring of federal government interventions in the agricultural sector. The minister notes that the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, floods and insecurity had made the government to set up structures to address infrastructural deficiency, technology gaps, security challenges and extension inadequacy. Nanono stated that agricultural productivity could only improve through mechanization of production activities. And now we'll take a short break. When we get back from this break, I'll bring you sporting news. Do not go nowhere.
You have been summoned to a shrine.
Yes, sir. Teresa, Alata.
That's a shrine?
A shrine, but I've not gone.
Rest at his premise.
Miracle! 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 Another wheelchair!
Impact 2021, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
Join me, I am coming to Uyo, Akwa Ibom. Your time has come. I'm believing God there's going to be massive move of the power of God. I'm telling you, like you've never experienced it before.
22nd and 23rd June 2021. Venue at Boho Mparawa Hall, Udo Udoma Avenue, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. The time is 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. For inquiries, please call.
Please, you don't want to miss it. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that the Apostle Johnson Suleiman is coming to Akwa Ibom State.
Receive your change.
You're welcome back now to sports news. Emotional as Ramos says goodbye to Real Madrid. Ex-Real Madrid's defender Sergio Ramos bid farewell after 16 years at the club as he broke down in tears. According to him, leaving the club was one of the most difficult moments of his life. Ramos will be remembered as one of Real Madrid's greatest players ever, having won 5 La Liga titles and 4 Champions Leagues, having played 671 games for the club. The 35-year-old, who struggled for fitness and form last season, was unable to agree an extension to his contract and will become a free agent on July 1st. Ramos and Real Madrid's president Perez delivered short speeches in a presentation room at the club's training ground with Ramos's family in audience. Perez says it was not an easy day, remembering how he signed Ramos when he was aged 19 from Sevilla for 27 million euros in 2005. Perez added that he arrived wanting to take on the world, and he is undoubtedly one of the legends Real Madrid had, who has grown as a player and has been their iconic captain for years. In another sports story, Germany targets bounce-back win over Ronaldo's Portugal. Germany will aim to shut down Cristiano Ronaldo on Saturday, with the hosts under pressure to beat holders Portugal in order to get their Euro 2020 campaign back on track. After losing their opening game 1-0 to France after a Mats Hummels's own goal, Germany badly need a win in Group F and to stop Ronaldo from adding to his phenomenal goal tally. The Portuguese superstar has now netted a record 11 goals at 5 European Championship finals after scoring twice in Portugal's 3-0 win over Hungary in Budapest. With 106 goals in 176 games for Portugal, he is 3 short of the all-time international record set by Ali Day, who scored 109 goals for Iran between 1993 and 2006. The Juventus forward has never scored against Germany in 4 previous attempts, the most recent when Portugal were swept aside 4-0 at the 2014 World Cup. The Germans hope to deny him against at Munich's Allianz Arena. Frankfurt striker Andre Silva scored 28 goals in the Bundesliga last season and is part of a squad rich in attacking options. Ginter says it would be a mistake to focus completely on Cristiano Ronaldo, with Portugal's Premier League trio Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva also capable of winning games on their own. And that has brought us to the end of the news desk on Celebration TV. In case you missed the top stories, here is a recap of the headlines. EFCC goes after KALU again and others. Pro and anti-PM Ethiopians campaign ahead of key elections next week. Kim Jong-Un prepares for dialogue and confrontation with the United States. New electricity law underway, says the Senate. Emotional as Ramos says goodbye to Real Madrid. And now it's time for the photo of the day. That photo clearly says having too many personalities can destroy opportunities. Being real will not take a thing from you. You have to be real and let people accept you for who you are. There is no need to put on deceit. You can share your thoughts about that photo of the day via our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are at My Celebration TV. On Twitter, at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, Celebration TV. Always remember that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself in or the organization you work in defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has bagged his way to success, be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Be a part of nation building today. I am Sherry Queensley Barma, and it's goodbye.
15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by